Hello everybody, and welcome to the Guy Summer Sports Show. I'm sorry I haven't done a video in a while, but we are back, and today we're going to be talking about the updates in this LeBron James free agency decision, and we're going to be touching on rumors that Kevin Durant could get traded yet again after just 1 year in Houston. But before we dive into all of that, let's get to the trivia question of the day. The category is Hall of Fame. Match the 2024 Hall of Fame inductee with their main team. So, the players that you can match to a team: 1, Dwight Freeney; 2, Randy Gradishar; 3, Andre Johnson; 4, Devin Hester; and 5, Julius Peppers. And you can match them to A, Carolina; B, Chicago; C, Denver; D, Houston; and E, Indianapolis. I will repeat the question. The category is Hall of Fame. Match the 2024 Hall of Fame inductee with their main team. The options are 1, Dwight Freeney; 2, Randy Gradishar; 3, Andre Johnson; 4, Devin Hester; and 5, Julius Peppers. The teams that you can match them to are A, Carolina; B, Chicago; C, Denver; D, Houston; and E, Indianapolis. Put your answer in the comments. I'll answer that at the end of the episode. Today's football birthdays are Darrell Royal, Fred Dreyer, Namadia Samga, and Mike Riley. So happy birthday to those gentlemen. Those are your football birthdays and your trivia question for Monday, July 6, 2026. I hope you guys all had a fantastic 4th of July weekend celebrating the 250th birthday of our wonderful country, USA. But now let's get into the episode. So, the big question going around in the NBA right now is, where in the world is LeBron James going to go? Golden State Warriors were kind of the favorites. The Philadelphia 76ers creeped in there after the Jaylen Brown to 76ers trade. You guys all know my thoughts on that. If you don't, go check out my video, What the Heck Are the Celtics Doing? But I had some pretty big thoughts on that trade. But so now LeBron's like, okay, I kind of want to go to the 76ers, get to play with VJ Edgecombe, who had a fantastic rookie season, averaged 16 points per game. He'll be better. Tyrese Maxey, who dropped 28 a game this past year. Jaylen Brown, who dropped 28 a game. And Joel Embiid, when healthy, is an MVP caliber player because he's won an MVP. So, championship-wise, that might be LeBron's best destination out of all of the favorites. But there is a chance, if everyone's healthy and VJ Edgecombe takes that second-year jump, a lot of people think he will have that second-year jump, and if he has it, LeBron James might only be the 5th best player on that team, which is insane. But yes, LeBron, that gives him a very good championship opportunity, but how will that 5th title be remembered? Because for all 6 of Jordan's titles, he was the best player. For all 5 of Kobe's titles, the first 3, he was the 2nd best player, and next 2, he was the best player. No absolute legend has been the 5th best player on a team. And that's not like a disgrace to, LeBron James, because if he plays at the level he did this past season, he'll still be fantastic. It's just because he's on such a stacked team. So, but the question is, how would that 5th championship be remembered? If he's just the 5th best player on that team, they might not count it as much. And he already has a title. People don't count that much. The bubble one of the Mickey Mouse title. So, does he want 2 titles that people are like, they're kind of fake ones? I don't think he will. But everyone knows he's not going to be the best player on a team that's going to win the title. The Warriors, it's sounding like, because we all know about the whiteboard, right? Rich Paul went on that podcast, mentioned teams. There were 10 teams, but the Warriors weren't in the inner circle. The inner circle, I think there was 4 teams. Or there were 76ers, Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Cavaliers, and Heat, I think. So actually 5 teams in the inner circle, I'm pretty sure. And the Warriors were just on the outside. And it's sounding like if the Warriors want to lure in LeBron, they're going to need to trade for Anthony Davis. Reunite those 2. So, and the Wizards do not want to do that. So before it was like, okay, Warriors can't gain him. Oh, well, they can still get LeBron. But all of a sudden it's sounding like LeBron ain't going to want to go there unless they get Anthony Davis. Because as people have said, if LeBron signs with the Warriors but they don't get Anthony Davis, it's just fun to see LeBron and Steph. They're not going to compete for a title unless they get Anthony Davis. That's what a lot of people have said. Kind of coming to fruition here. Is that now LeBron's hearing that and he's like, okay, I'm not sure I want to go. I am not sure if I want to go to the Warriors. I don't think Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, ever said if they're in the corner, that means LeBron isn't considering them much. But it's kind of obvious. If they're not in the inner circle, I mean, he showed like the 4 other players on the starting 5 if he went to that team for the inner circle teams, and then kind of like it was just scribbled in the corner, Steph and Draymond. Like, it's Rich Paul never went out and said, hey, if you're in the corner, we're not considering you as much. But isn't that kind of just common sense that if they're out in the corner, not in the big inner circle, he ain't considering there as much? The favorites are the Cleveland Cavaliers. And it would be cool to see him go home again. I've never seen LeBron in Cleveland. I wasn't alive for his first stint, and I wasn't following basketball for his second stint. So it would be cool to see that, and that would be a super team. I think you could definitely call that a super team because it would be 3 superstars, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, and LeBron James. They would not have drafted any of them. James Harden and LeBron, well, never mind. They would have drafted LeBron, but LeBron would have gone all over the place. LeBron, yes, he did get drafted by the Cavs. I don't know what I was thinking there, but it's not like he's been there his entire career. He hasn't played for the Cavs in 8 years. So it's all of them, they're on this team because they acquired them and not via draft. And James Harden and LeBron would be new. I mean, like in the case of new for this roster. So, excuse me, but Rich Paul also said, no discredit to James Harden, but LeBron's kind of upset that Darius Garland isn't there. He would prefer to play with Darius Garland. I think he is the same agent. I think Darius Garland has Rich Paul as an agent. So then it's like, okay, and James Harden's he's just a lot of stuff goes on with James Harden, controversial stuff, and people don't think he's very good anymore. He's washed. He's never going to get a championship, but I still think LeBron's going to go to Cleveland. Excuse me, that's my opinion. I wish it would be Golden State. I would love to see LeBron and Steph together, but it sounds like it's leaning towards Cleveland. They would also have Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. That's an absolutely fantastic starting 5. But Tyrese Maxey, he would put a star next to him. Apparently LeBron really likes Tyrese Maxey. I think he also has Rich Paul as an agent. So LeBron likes Tyrese Maxey. The Jaylen Brown trade changed everything. But like I said, he could be only the 5th best player on that team. So would the 5th championship count as much? But now let's touch on Kevin Durant. Of course, there was all the controversy with the burner account and all that. Kevin Durant wasn't necessarily healthy for the playoffs, missed Game 2. He only played in Game 2 of their series against the Lakers, and they lost. It was just a whole entire thing, and it was a disappointing year in Houston. They were expecting, hey, we were a 2 seed last year, but we got bounced around 1 because we were too young, didn't have one superstar necessarily, so they made the move to acquire Kevin Durant in a 7-team blockbuster trade, and then they said only Amen Thompson is untouchable. So they're not shopping Kevin Durant, but they're thinking about maybe trading him. He's not an untouchable on the team. He's not untouchable, which is the big thing to mention here. And he's interested in playing along Cade Cunningham. There was a 3-team deal that would have sent Kevin Durant to the Pistons, Alperen Sengun to the Celtics, Jaylen Brown to the Rockets. So I don't know who the Pistons would be giving up. I don't know whether the Celtics would lose someone, gain someone. Rockets would lose 2 players, gain 1 player. And Pistons would gain 1 player and not give up anyone. So I don't know what was that case there. But I would like to see Kevin Durant get traded because y'all know I love blockbuster trades. But I think that would be a horrible move. There. I said it. On paper, Cade Cunningham, Kevin Durant, great. Kevin Durant ain't washed yet. He'll be 38, but he's still playing great basketball, right? But are we realizing, other than in Golden State, everywhere Kevin Durant goes fails? In OKC, he was on a super team. Him, James Harden, Russell Westbrook. I guess you might not consider it a super team because they all got drafted there. Did not get a title. See, Warriors, he succeeded, right? He was great in Golden State. 3 years, 3 finals appearances, 2 titles, 2 finals MVPs, all the things. But ever since going to the Warriors, he's been a failure. In Brooklyn, him and Kyrie together, even having James Harden for a while, never even went to the conference finals. I get it, he was a shoe size away, but never even went to the conference finals. And then goes the Suns. The hype is real. After the Suns acquire Kevin Durant mid-season, they were the favorites to win the Western Conference and second favorites to win the title behind the Celtics. And, because I found that out actually pretty recently. And then he fails there. Half a year is a failure. Then they got rid of Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. And it was just, then the big three of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal failed. 6th seed, first year got swept. Next year didn't even make the plan, despite having like the most expensive roster in NBA history or something. It was pathetic. Pathetic what he did in Phoenix. So that's back-to-back failures, and he only spent 2.5 years with both of those franchises. He had 3 coaches in 2.5 years with the Suns. Absolute failure. And now we're looking at Houston. Big trade. Houston thinks they're legit contenders now. And we're looking at potentially only 1 year there, only playing 1 game in their playoff series, game 2, and they're losing game 2, lose the series. And now we're talking about him potentially being moved. He fails everywhere he goes. Teams acquire him, and then it's like, okay, never mind, we failed. Ship him off. OKC, he was great. He won MVP. Never accomplished anything. Golden State, fantastic, but Brooklyn failed. Phoenix failed. If he gets traded to the Pistons this offseason, he failed in Houston. And that trade was bad because for the Rockets, they were a great young team. Jalen Green was their young 23-year-old superstar. They had a legitimate, and then they rushed it. Then they came out and they rushed it. Because they were a 2 seed, got bounced in round 1, because they lost to a veteran group with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, all the things. They were a bit too young and immature at that point. And then they need to grow. Alperen Sengun, Amen Thompson, Jalen Green. They had a fantastic young core, Jabari Smith Jr. And then they said, you know what? We don't care, because if the Rockets didn't do that Kevin Durant trade, okay, you have a 10-year championship window, because you have a ton of young talents. They had a long championship window. And then they traded away their best player, arguably, in Jalen Green, along with Dylan Brooks, a first-round pick, I think, and 5 second-round picks. And they got Kevin Durant. Okay, they didn't give up that much, but now they have a 37-year-old superstar, and that championship window just shrunk. Now they have to win before Kevin Durant gets washed or retires. And I am telling you, Phoenix did good. They have Devin Booker, Jalen Green. I mean, D-Book's getting old. He's becoming a forgettable player. But they made the playoffs as an 8 seed. They improved after they fired Mike Budenholzer, got rid of Kevin Durant, and got rid of Bradley Beal. If Rockets trade Kevin Durant to Detroit this offseason, and the Suns are great with Jalen Green and Devin Booker, which I'm expecting, which I can see happening, we're looking at that as one of the worst trades in NBA history. The Rockets shrunk their title window considerably. They shrunk it considerably, and I ain't too happy about what the Rockets are doing. So Detroit, let this be a warning to you. Probably don't trade for Kevin Durant. I would love it. I love a good blockbuster trade, but it ain't going to be the right move to make. I don't think it's going to be the right move, because teams trade for Kevin Durant, think they're title contenders, and then it all falls through. But can you imagine if Kevin Durant gets traded? I've already mentioned a billion times how crazy this offseason has been. Giannis got traded to the Heat. LaMelo Ball got traded to the Timberwolves. Kawhi got traded to the Raptors. LeBron is going to a new team. I mean, and I think there was something. Jaylen Brown got traded to the 76ers. And then if Kevin Durant gets traded, this would be the greatest offseason of all time. Or craziest. But absolutely crazy stuff. Excuse me. But yeah, the rumors are heating up about Kevin Durant potentially getting moved. They're heating up. And Rockets are still a bit iffy about trading him, but the Men Thompson is their only untouchable. But this is crazy stuff. And yeah, where's LeBron going to go? I'm leaning towards Cleveland. Him, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. That's a scary starting five right there. And I still think he'll go there, even though they traded away Darius Garland. As much as he likes Tyrese Maxey, don't think he's going to Philly. But the crazy thing is, Rich Paul said, if the New York Knicks didn't win the title, there wouldn't even be a whiteboard. There wouldn't even be a board. And he would be playing with the Knicks to try and bring them a title for the first time in 54 years it would be if they didn't win it. But now he's like, hey, they won a title. I don't need to go there. I think he's still slightly considering it, but that's not going to happen. But before we wrap up today's episode, let's get to the trivia question of the day. The category is Hall of Fame. Match the 2024 Hall of Fame inductee with their main team. So players that you can match to a team. 1, Dwight Freeney. 2, Randy Gradishar. 3, Andre Johnson. 4, Devin Hester. And 5, Julius Peppers. And you can match them to A, Carolina, so the Panthers. B, Chicago. C, Denver. D, Houston. And E, Indianapolis. The answer to the trivia question is, so 1 matches to E, Dwight Freeney, played for the Indianapolis Colts. 2 matches to C, Randy Gradishar, Denver Broncos. 3 matches to D, Andre Johnson, Houston Texans. 4 matches to B, Devin Hester, played for the Chicago Bears. And 5 matches to A, Julius Peppers, a member of the Carolina Panthers. Hope you guys got that right. That is the answer to your trivia question for Monday, July 6, 2026. But yeah, absolutely crazy. Kevin Durant could get moved. Those rumors are heating up. Like I said, LeBron could get traded to the sign with the Cavs. Tell me, where do you think LeBron James is going to go? Do you think Kevin Durant is going to get traded? And if so, do you think it would be a good move for the Detroit Pistons? Because on paper, Cade Cunningham, Kevin Durant's dangerous. But like I said, Kevin Durant fails everywhere he goes. But that's it for this episode of the Guy Summer Sports Show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this kind of content, I would really appreciate it if you would like to subscribe. Last time I checked, I'm one subscriber away from 600. So I really hope I can get there. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Guy Summer Sports Show, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.